Bring in Evy Poumpouras now. She's a former U.S. Secret Service special agent. Evy, so many questions about the operation right now. From your experience traveling to these other countries, working with different governments, especially when there's a strong cartel presence, talk about the challenges facing the U.S. government right now with bringing these Americans home.
Okay, so at this point, we know where they are. We have them in custody, so to speak. They're going to be coming home. But when you're going overseas, especially to a place like Mexico, the cartels have a lot of power and control over the bordering cities. This isn't new, and this problem has been escalating for some time. It's just because we're dealing with Americans now that it's coming to further light. Mexicans and Mexican Americans along the border have been dealing with this problem for a really long time, even trusting local authorities. In fact, one of the former leaders of one of the cartels, he was actually a police officer at one point. So we're dealing with a very volatile situation, a country that is struggling a bit. The government, although their intentions are, hey, we're here to help, they don't have control over the cartels, and the cartels are really running the show.
So the State Department had warned Americans not to travel to this particular region. Walk us through just how dangerous it is. And we understand now that we think that they were crossing the border for this type of surgery. It sounds like they were even kind of nervous about it at first. But talk through the risk of making a decision like that.
Here's the thing. I've been to Mexico. It's a wonderful place. Over the years, we've seen a deterioration when it comes to safety, even in some of the tourist places. Right now, the way it is, I would not be going to Mexico, any part of Mexico. Before you travel, you really should look at the travel advisories. The cartels have a lot of power. They're smuggling in people, they're smuggling in drugs, cocaine, marijuana. It's prolific at the borders. And so we're seeing this uncontrolled movement. Also, when we look at migrants, what they're doing to migrants as far as human trafficking, and even targeting women and using them and violating them and sexual assaults. It has been, you're looking at a really big problem at the border.
Evy, talk about what you said. One thing. Look at the travel advisories. That's great advice. People are heading out for spring break, making their plans right now. If they're going to a place where it is advised to be careful, maybe it's not as dangerous as Matamoros, what should we do to protect ourselves and our families?
So I will tell you this, as Secret Service agents, we traveled the world. First thing we did, we looked at the State Department travel advisory. We'd go to that country, we'd print it out, we'd look at what was going on. It would tell you, are there any advisories, things you need to be careful of? Also, very simple things like, what is the local 911 number? Here it's 911. If you're in an emergency, you don't know where to call. It'll tell you things like whether you should be driving on the road or not driving on the road. There were some countries we knew when we went, we would not drive on the road at night. There were road pirates. So you must do this. You can also enroll in something that's called STEP, where you let the embassy know in that country, hey, I'm coming to this country. And they know, and so you will receive any emergency text or notifications, and then they also have you documented that you are in country. You should absolutely do this anywhere you go in the world. I mean, we did it as Secret Service agents, and we were pretty well equipped, but we always knew.
And you had situational awareness, too. I think just knowing where you are.
You have to have situational awareness. Sometimes we have this, we are very fortunate here in the United States to have a lot of security and trust in our government, to an extent for some people, and our local authorities. But when you go to a country like Mexico, for example, highly corrupt and a lot of issues with local authorities, and you just have to be really careful.
Don't assume you're in America.
Absolutely.
Respect local laws and rules.
Evy Poumpouras, thank you so much. Really important information following this tragic story. We appreciate it.
Thank you.